talking about the role modeling, the other day I was talking to other person. He actually told me an interesting thing. He's from America. One of his niece, when she asked to what he wanted to become, she said that she wants to be Kim Kardashian.
Lovely.
So, so what do you think? I mean, the role model thing, especially in today's social media age, has been really, people can't understand that who they should, make the role model. And so what's your thought on this?
Look, I think social media, again, that's something we could talk for another 1, 2, 3 hours just on the topic of social media and children. It's such a big, hot topic at the moment. In Australia, they're actually looking at potentially changing some of the legislation around the age that children can start interacting with social media. I know this conversation is not unique here. I know this is sort of happening worldwide around what is this impact that we're seeing on our kids with their engagement with social media. And there is no hard and fast rule to any of it. Something that I think is an element that we can help is ensuring that the children, before they reach that time of social media becoming a big thing, because that sort of starts to happen more around age 10 plus. It's less of an issue before that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's making sure before social media starts to really connect into their life so much that they actually understand some of the core values for them. And so that way, when they do start to have their world expand beyond their parents, their family, their friends, and their world starts to expand to other broader influences, they still have a ingrained understanding of what they value. And we need to remember as well that for kids, if we say don't do something, that's going to make things look a lot more attractive for them. So we need to bring some guidance instead of, so it's being able to help the child understand. So for the Kim Kardashian example that you sort of talked to a moment ago, it's being able to help them to learn, well, what is it about that actually catches their attention? What help them to break it down. Is it that they want to become a public figure? And if so, why? What message is it that they'd like to share with the world? Is it that they want to, be in some sort of film or TV, or, do they want to get into that side of things? Like, what is it that actually attracts them to whatever role model it is that might be sparking their interest in that moment? And additionally, make sure that they do have some really good role modeling from the parents, from the other adults that are in their life, and trust the child to be able to see those really good role models that are there as well.
The biggest problem the Gen Alpha generation has, that the biggest issue is the social media.
It is. It is a completely different world that they are living into what any of us grew up with.
Yep.
Their entire world is going to be recorded. Their life is recorded. I saw some stat recently that before the child before they were 12, they've already got something like 70 million data points about them because of the social media world that we live. 70 million data points about them online, that is. There's something large figure like that. Don't quote me on that exact stat. Please look into it if you're interested. But the concept of this remains the same, being that these kids, they are being brought up with the parents being on social media. So that's some of the role modeling that they're seeing as well.
Yeah.
And so they're seeing their lives being sort of displayed out, and, the big moments in their life being shared through social media. And social media has some great positives as well. If we think of COVID in the recent years and some of the great connection that it actually still allowed for people, there are benefits to it. but it's making sure that children are using this in a healthy way. And I think that's the big thing, is teaching them, and even as adults, we might not all know how to use social media in a healthy way, but being able to make sure that we have that self-care happening around social media. So we're actually taking that decompression time after potentially, sitting there scrolling for 10 minutes, having that decompression time and actually taking that moment to reflect and just check in with ourselves. It's being able to, just think of all of those sorts of different healthy habits. And there's so much available research and great insights out there on healthy habits in relation to this. It is some of the elements that I bring into some of the work that I do in the child coaching there, but making sure that we're teaching those healthy habits and instilling those in ourselves as well, so that they're learning through that positive role modeling.
Yep. And I'm thinking the social media is like a fire. We have to teach our children how to use it. If you use it too much, there is a fair amount of chance that you can burn yourself.
Yeah, completely. It is the new world that these kids are growing up in. And whilst it's not what we grew up in as adults, we understand as adults what that world looks like, at least for us in this current role. And so it's being able to, just understand that it is going to be different for them. It is a unique world. Everything in their world is going to be online.
Yeah.
And it is going to be quite different in how they connect with people as well. It's where we used to have to pick up the phone and call somebody. Everything's all via text now, be it in Snapchat or whichever platform.
Yep.
But there is so much that we need to be teaching these kids around how to engage in a healthy way early on.
Yep.
Because it is their world, and we can't deny that. Whilst there is a lot of conversation at the moment around raising the legal age in Australia, kids already find a way around it. They're already creating accounts even below the current legal age.
Yep.
Is this actually going to fix the problem? I don't believe it will. I think that what we actually need to do is the education for how to do this in a healthy way. How do they still manage to show up authentically online? How do they look to engage in a way that maintains their health and well-being, and that they aren't exacerbating any kind of, I guess, they're not impacting their resilience. They're not impacting their authenticity. They're not impacting any of these sorts of elements, because they are looking after their mental health. They are looking after that self-care. They're looking at how they can show up compassionately online. They're, learning how to live in that world that it is.
Yep, absolutely. And as you told me earlier that we adults also, we don't know when to stop endless scrolling. So as you told, the first role model to the children is their parents. If the parents are doing the same thing, so naturally they will learn this from their parents.
Yeah, completely.
Thanks for watching. To see the full episode, check out the link in the description.